Normally on a Thursday, we only review MLW, Impact Wrestling, and Ring of Honor. However, we're going to do a slightly changes on this particular episode. Unfortunately, we did not have any Impact Wrestling story time, but however, I will be talking a little bit on Impact Wrestling on a different type of subject, which is called the Best of Impact Wrestling 2023. We're going to reveal who won, like, year of the knockouts, year of the tag teams, that sort of thing. So this is only part one we're going to do. And also, as you know, there's no MLW, so which is a crying shame, but very interesting developments have taken place, but that'll be in another later time. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing. This is what we have for all of you. We're going to be reviewing more with Stardom. However, I was supposed to see day 5 of the year-end tour. Apparently, that did not happen. I've been unable to do so. However, decided to skip it to day 6 that took place on the 17th of December. Then we move on, as you know, with New Japan Pro Wrestling with Road to Tokyo Dome. We have two interesting matches as a main event. The first one is the KOPW title in a whiskey bottle ladder match, which is very unique. But our main event features the never openweight 6-man tag team championship being on the line. Members of the great of the United Empire, more specifically Khan, Henare, and Cobb, will challenge the most powerful trios we have seen so far in New Japan. So we'll be doing that as well. Then we have Ring of Honor with a proving ground matches and several other things on this one. I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, we have some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, any wrestlers that either been signed or departing from their promotions, any developments, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is where we do a lot of reviews from various different promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos on various subjects such as the wrestlers themselves, promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to get our hands on. If I'm unable to do any news updates that I couldn't put on this episode, I can put it at another separate episode by itself and other cool stuff as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool stuff on this channel. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, we continue with more with Stardom with the year-end tour, and I think they're in Niigata, I believe, down in the Sendai Prefecture, I believe. Um, this took place recently on the 17th of December. Our first match is a three-way match. We have Hanako versus Yuna Mizumori versus Mina Shirakawa. So there's going to be a lot of factors of this match. Of course, Hanako with the least experience, but the one thing she does have is a bit of the powerness. I mean, she is a tall girl. She basically would use that an advantage. You got Yuna Mizumori, who does have a bit of a powerhouse type in her arsenal, but you got Mina, who has been building up momentum, who has already have more experience than both of these ladies combined. But however, in this match, It was the Glamorous Collection Mina by Mina onto Mizumori to pick up the win. Next up, we got a very interesting tag team match. Our first team is Lady C teaming up with Ami Sodi. Now, you probably could say yourselves, why would Ami Sodi and Lady C team up? Aren't both of them on two different factions? Yes, well, there's been some really interesting factors that have been going on with those two. Recently, they were supposed to team up in Tag League, but apparently Lady C was out on injury, but now she's back. They are facing for the new blood tag team titles together. I think they're trying to get a feel on their momentum as a tag team, from the way I see it. But they will be facing against Lady C's teammates. Well, not teammate. The rookie Yuzuki, and of course our one half of the Goddesses tag team champions, Sayakami Tani. So there's going to be a lot of factors in this one, how this plays out. But however, of course, it was Yusuke who picked up the loss by getting herself in a Boston Crab by Ami Sodi to pick up the win. So I like to say not bad for Ami Sodi and Lady C. I'm sure we'll see them teaming up to see how they will roll up together. Now our next match, we have Saya Ida, Hanan, and Azuki, all the members of Stars, taking on Queen's Quest, Mayu Amasaki, Azumi, and Utami Ayashida. So that's a very interesting combination between all three of them. I mean, when we see Azumi and Utami along with Saya Kamitani, we always intend to believe that they are the much stronger team together. But however, that wasn't the case on this one. Hanan was the one who picked up the win by applying the Hanan special on Amasaki to pick up the win. Our next match, we have a very interesting singles match. We have the Scandinavian Hurricane taking on the winner of the 5-star Grand Prix. We're talking about Suzuki. So this is a good match for both of them. However, many fans are trying to get a feel of Scandinavian Hurricane. But as for Zuzu building up momentum before her big match at Ryogoku on the 29th of December. But she picked up a very hell of a match when she applied the tequila shot onto Scandinavian Hurricane. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, a very interesting tag team match. We have Mega Bane teaming up with Saito Uno. Now, these two ladies are going to have to build up momentum due to the fact that they both have title shots taking place in Ryogoku. Mega Bane is going after the New Japan Strong Women's title, facing off against Julia. And of course, Sayori Onoi. As you know, she is going for round 2 of the white belt. So basically, as you know, the last time her opponent, on the other hand, it will be on the opposite side. On this particular match, Mirai teams up with leader of God's Eye, Sudi. I thought this match was fantastic. However, once again, history repeated itself like the last time. So apparently, it ended in a time limit draw. But in the post match, um, of course, Sario Nui and Mirai are confident enough to say that one of them will walk out as the champion in Ryogoku. Now, many fans are already speculating Sario Nui could walk out as the champion in Ryogoku. So we'll see where that leads. I mean, other than that, I mean, we know she's not a full time member of the roster, but she has been participating for a long time, and not to mention in the past as well. So we'll see where that leads us from there. Our main event, we have Oedo Tai consisting of Ruka, Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, and Natsuko Tora taking on the full force of DDM, Maika, Tekla, Mai Sakurai, and Julia. You can now, as you know, with Oedo Tai, they try to take their fight, try to soften up their opponents outside the ring by tossing the chairs, beating up whatever they can get. However, in this particular match, Maika was the one who picked up the win, building up momentum when she applied the Michinoku driver onto Ruka and picked up the win. However, Maika, on her post match, she actually did a promo saying that by the end of this year, the DDM will walk out as champions. She's confident enough to believe that she will walk out as a red belt champion. Julia will retain the New Japan Strong title, and they, of course, Julia along with Tekla and Mai Sakurai will remain as the artist. So anything could happen. I know there's many fans are saying that Zuzu should be is going to be the one wearing the belt. Others saying Micah should be wearing the red belt. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. I'm sure we have, I think, maybe one or two more shows left after this, so we'll see where we go after this or so. But we'll see. I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, New Japan are on the road to Tokyo Dome. As you know, we're only a few days away before January 4th for Wrestle Kingdom, so we're so excited. However, before we get that, let's talk about this latest with day one of Road to Tokyo Dome. It begins with a very, very comedic match. I have to say, I couldn't stop laughing, especially with Chris Carlton and his new ring commentator partner. I have to say, it's so funny. We have this guy named Mask Horse, who in fact is Ryusuke Taguchi, and his tag team partner, Mask Bolton, which is, of course, Oleg Bolton. They take on Tiger Mask and Toru Yano. Now, I have to say there was a lot of comedic moments, especially with Chris Carlton when he says, "Get off the high horse." You know, using horse reference throughout the entirety of this match. But the match was really fun. I mean, I have to say, I mean, this could have been a DDT type match because there's a lot of comedic in DDT. To be honest with you, but this was one of the most funniest one. But in the end, of course, it was the Mask Horse with the keto clutch on the Tiger Mask to pick up the win. But yes, I have to say it was one of the most funnest match I ever watched. Now our next match we have the Young Bloods, more specifically guys from the young lions. We have Oscar Lobe and Yuto Nakashima taking on TMDK's Kosei Fujita and Zack Sabre Jr. Now Lobe and Nakajima have grown to become good friends and tag partners in and out of the ring. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for them to grow together as a tag team, but also see where they can learn from each other as well. But however, as you know, Kosei Fujita, who was a former Young Lion, knows exactly what he needs to do. But he has his mentor and father figure, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. by his side. But in fact, it was Zack Sabre Jr. with this Dragon Sleeper onto Oscar Lobe to pick up the win. Now, Lobe did not tap out, but he just passed out. So basically, that's how it ended. Now, our next match, we have the United Empire, Callan Newman, Francisco Cara, and TJP taking on the BC War Dogs, Ghetto, Drilla Maloney, and Clark Connors. Now, keep in mind, Francisco Cara and TJP, better known as Catch 2-2, they in fact are the current winners of the Super Junior Tag League. That means they face against the War Dogs, Maloney, and Connors for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. However, the War Dogs had made a statement saying that Catch 2-2 is officially dead. They brought a casket saying that they are already dead regardless. But of course, Catch 2-2 refused to accept it. But, however, the match went crazy enough until Ghetto was the one who ended up on the wrong side of the two by two by Catch 2-2, and then it was TJP who picked up the win. But, however, the War Dogs were not done yet. They were sending a statement telling them that they are dead, that they're not coming out of this one regardless. But TJP swore to them, saying that the following day of the road to Tokyo Dome, it's going to be a coffin match to prove once and for all that Catch 2-2 is dead. But of course, the War Dogs are not too concerned over that, so we'll see where that leads us. Now, our next match, we have Shota Umino, Tomoaki Hamna, and Master Wato taking on those despicable pricks, the House of Torture, Show, Evil, and Ren Narita. Of course, we're going to have Dick Togo get involved. Of course, Kanemaru was going to get involved. And Yujiro, no matter what, it was going to cause us problem. But it was, of course, Hamna who suffered the everything is evil. But the House of Torture decided to continue to beat down on Shota Umino when an unexpected surprise have appeared. Rohi Oiwa and Rohi and Kato Kiyomiya showed up. Now, here's what happened. The previous day, before this event, the House of Torture attacked Kiyomiya and Oiwa, and this time they're getting their payback. So basically, there's that going around. But however, Shota Umino and Kato Kiyomiya shook hands. But apparently, something has interesting happened. After the match, they decided they're going to challenge against, of course, the House of Torture. Um, so they already got Junto Miyawaki and Shuji Kondo, who last time they dealt with them, they're gonna will deal with them this time. So they need one more person, but we will see about that at another time. Now moving on, we have Satoshi Kojima and El Desperado taking on Lij, Shingo Takagi, and Hiromu Takahashi. Now Hiromu and Despi have always been having like this back and forth battle between them. Now, their battle is about who is the best junior heavyweight. Now we know both of them are the best, but the way they spread their ideology was completely different. Hiromu has always not been afraid to say, "I am the face of the division," and he's always proven it. And not to mention, Despi felt like I don't need to prove that so basically, that's always been the case. They've been going back and forth between them. But in the end, it was, of course, Shingo with the popping bummer on Kojima to pick up the win. Now, our next match, we have Lij, Bushi, Yoda Tsuji, Tetsuya Naito taking on just 5 guys. Doiki, Yuya Uemura, and Sanada. Now, keep in mind, Sanada and Naito have a date with Destiny at Wrestle Kingdom 18 on January 4th. So this is a good preview. But however, more factors of this match: Yoda and Yuya Uemura, who have been in the same class together. So that's always been one of the good factors. But what I liked about the end of this match, Sanada was able to put Naito in the Paradise Lock and keep him there long enough for Yuya Uemura to pick up the win. Now, he did not pick up the pin on the one person he wanted, which is Yoda Tsuji. It was against Ibushi. 1, 2, 3. It was over. Now, our next match is for the KOPW Championship in a whiskey bottle ladder match. Now, this is the first time for everyone. I mean, we cannot forget about the ladder match for the Intercontinental title back in, what, 2017, 18, somewhere around there. But it's Yoshinobu Kanemaru and versus Taichi. Now, if you guys remember history all too well, not too long ago, Kanemaru betrayed Just Five Guys and aligned himself with House of Torture. Now, of course, the House of Torture were going to show up. They were going to do whatever it takes to win. Make sure that Kanemaru brings home the KOPW title. But luckily, Just Five Guys came around and take out the trash. But I thought they did got rid of the trash, but no, that spoiler Dick showed up and tries to cause a problem. It did not do any well. But however, it was Taichi with the Black Mephisto that sealed the deal for him to retain the titles. Now, our next match, the main event, is for the never openweight 6-man tag team titles. We have United Empire, Hinare, Great-O-Khan, and Jeff Cobb taking on the supergroup of Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. I have to say, what an unbelievable match. Now, majority of this match, I can say, went straight to Hinare and Ishii. Now, Ishii lost to Hinare once before, and it looked more like Hinare had that look on his face like saying, I can beat you once, I can take you on again. But Ishii is willing to make up for that loss at any cost as possible. These guys threw every blow at them as possible, but nothing worked until finally Ishii applied the vertical brainbuster and retained the title. So I have to say, this team has been so far unstoppable. We haven't just seen we haven't just seen yet who will be strong enough to take them out. But however, Cal Newman from the United Empire will take on Ishii the following day. So we'll see that soon enough on the next episode. So I think that's pretty much it with New Japan. Let's do our final review, which is of course news up Ring of Honor. My bad. Ring of Honor. That's our last review. Okay, Ring of Honor. It opened up with a very interesting tag team match. We have the Workhorsemen, JD Drake and Anthony Henry, taking on the Proud Boys of Texas, the Von Erichs, Ross and Marshall Von Erich. So this, I can say this was going to be like a blue collar match type or something, or a brawl match, however you want to call it. But right there ringside, we saw the father of Ross and Marshall, and the surviving of the five of six brothers, Kevin Von Erich. I have to say, Ross and Marshall has shown why they are the Von Erichs, that they're passing on, that they're the next generation of the Von Erichs. That's what shows us in this match. Now, you probably presume that this match was going to end with an Iron Claw. No, I have to say, I was impressed with Marshall applying a moonsault on JD Drake. So basically, that's how he picked up the win. And of course, the post match, Kevin Von Erich showed up, but Anthony Henry decided to do something about it, but he got clawed by Kevin Von Erich. So basically, his skull is crushed. Next match, we have a proving ground match for the ROH Women's World Title. Athena defends it against Maya World. I can safely tell you that Athena actually won this match by applying the Eclipse, and it was over right from there. Now, Tony Khan has had a big announcement about of taking the next step in the future of Ring of Honor. He announced for the creation of the ROH Women's World Television Title. Now, we saw something similar like this with NWA. I don't know if Tony Khan had the idea of this, but we'll see where that leads us from there. But I'm sure there's going to be a tournament. More information will rise about that, so we'll see. Our next match, we have Lee Johnson versus Dante Martin. I have to say, what a fantastic match. I mean, we have seen Lee Johnson has grown so much. Dante Martin, he is a sensational wrestler. We have always kept our eyes on him. I mean, we thought his career was over when he hurt himself, but now he's back. He is more like he's making up for lost time from watching this match. He picked up the win by applying that one move. Don't know what to call it on Johnson, but he actually pulled it off. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, last Friday, as you know, we had the final battle. Ethan Page, who had to let things out about how he felt, and he was like saying what he was going to say. Now, as you know, with the arrival of Scorpio Sky, he said he didn't just come back just to reunite with his former tag team partner. He said that he's going to help him accomplish his goal, much like what Ethan Page did for him for the TNT title. So now it's like, you were there for me. Now it's my turn to repay a favor. So basically, Ethan Page will probably be making his move for the ROH World Title or so, or whatever title he probably would get his hands on. So we'll see where that leads us from there. Now we did. Now speaking of what happened on last Friday with Final Battle, Tony Nese and Sterling, of course, bitching and complaining about the loss. It appears that Sterling saying that he's declaring war against ROH because, as you know, he tries to say that things should go exactly his way. He he felt that there was briberies taking place. I mean, he's the one who initiated the briberies, but it didn't work in his favor, so that kind of sets it all. But we'll see where those two will lead us from there. Next match, we have Blake Christian and Willie Mack. They team up to take on the Gates of Agony, um, Bishop Khan and Tail Leona. It was a pretty good match, but apparently Christian and Mac Willie are not no match for the Gates of Agony until they opened the gates on Christian, but it was Khan who picked up the win. Next match we have Lance Archer and the Righteous, uh, Dutch and Vincent. They take on the Iron Savages, Boulder and Bronson, along with Jack Jamison. I thought this match was going to be real interesting. However, it didn't do it well because it was Jack Jamison that ended up on the wrong side of the Autumn Sunshine by Vincent. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Now, our we do see an interview with Maria. As you know, she's proud of both Cole Carter and Griff Garrison. As you know, they have picked up a few wins in there, so they're trying to build them up. So Maria decided to put them in a 8-man tag match again with Spanish Announce Project. Now it fears that Cole Carter was not feeling the vibe, so it's like okay, but we'll see. Our next match we have Tail Valkyrie versus Vert Vixen. Pretty good match, not gonna lie. I mean, you probably would assume right now that Tail Valkyrie would win. Well, what she did when she applied the curb stomp, it was over right from there. We do see a little bit of backstage with Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. As you know, both of them are in a loss, knowing that they not walk out with anything from last Friday at Final Battle. But now it appears that they're putting the entire locker room on notice. So yes, so that's what's gonna happen. Our next match we have Charlotte Renegade versus Rachel Ellering. Now we know that they have faced Rachel has faced against the Renegade Twins before, but however, we did see what Maria was doing. Apparently, she grabbed Rachel Ellering's leg, and Layla Hirsch saw that. So they don't know what to make of it, but luckily, it did not lose focus for Rachel Ellering until she applied the Boss Lady Slam. So the obvious question is, what's going on? But however, they also got in her face about that later on during an interview because, as you know, they announced for the ROH Women's World Television title. So they probably want to be part of that as well. So we'll see where that goes from there. But the obvious question is, can they trust Maria? That's the one thing that has to be called into question. Now, we do see an interview with Taya and Johnny. Now, as you know, Johnny TV, in fact, caused Dalton Castle the opportunity to win the ROH World Television title. So basically, he had to say that, he's full of trash and all that. And of course, Dalton Castle, who is completely lost his mind over what was going on. But yeah, he completely lost his mind about how he lost it. But I'm sure he'll get his revenge against Johnny TV. Our next match, we have a very interesting three-way tag team match: the Outrunners versus the Infantry versus Action Andretti and Darius Martin. Now, I have to say, what a good match! I thought there was going to be some great spots on this between both the Infantry and Andretti and Darius, but in the end, it was the running shooting star press by Andretti, which is the same move that he applied on Jericho. He applied it on Turbo Floyd, and it was over right from there. Our next match, we have the Spanish Announce Project teaming up with Cole Carter and Griff Garrison. They take on Gravity, Dalton Castle, and the boys. Now, Dalton Castle, he looked kind of like, I'm so depressed. I'm not in the mood. Like, that Gravity has teamed up with these guys before. I have to say it was a fun match. Even Caprice Coleman says maybe he ought to be a boy himself. but but apparently Cole Carter took it. How do I say? Took things the hard way when, of course, Dalton Castle put Serpentico in a batarang, and the Spanish announce team had this one match if it wasn't for Cole Carter's attitude. But they paid the price because he ended up himself in a batarang, and it was over right from there. So at least it gives a little bit of momentum from Dalton Castle to get out of his little funk after what happened. Now, our main event, we have Gringo Loco and Jack Cartwheel taking on Commander and Vikingo. You know this is going to be a high spot match. Hell effing yes. I'm like, you'll be seeing flips there, flip there, jump there, all that. That's what we expect. But it was, of course, Commander with a running springboard shooting star press that sealed the deal for him against Gringo Loco, and it was over right from there. So I'd say what a fun moment. So I'm so excited for that. So I think that's pretty much it for Ring of Honor. I believe we're going to do something very different right now. So let's move on with the best of Impact Wrestling 2023. Okay, the best of Impact Wrestling 2023. Now, There was no new show that took place, but they actually showed some reruns of matches throughout 2023. But we're not going to be talking about that. So we will be talking about who won what year of the whole thing with Impact Wrestling. Now, this is only part one. I'm sure part two will come around next week. Uh, First, we have Knockouts Tag Team of the Year, and it goes to MK Ultra. Now, why would they won this one? Very simple. These two started out as rivals. They fought each other. They were in a dog collar match, and then they somehow decided to build a common ground to become tag team. They have always proven why they are a tag team right now. Like they're like these deranged sisters that love violence and they show their little pretty little smiles no matter who gets in their faces. I think of this team like a very interesting one to follow. We'll see what 2024 has for them. Uh, Hopefully, we'll see more of them as well. Now, as for the male tag teams, we have ABC, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin. Now, why would they win this match? Now, keep in mind, they have always been a very strong tag team. Not to mention, they even competed at the the Super Junior Tag League. Even competed in the best of the Super Juniors individually. But they have proven why they are in fact, a good team to begin with. Not to mention, they are the only members of the Bullet Club that are holding the fort since Jay White was excommunicated. And I'm sure that many of us will be happy to see more of them. Not to mention, they tried to regain their titles after losing it after the Rascals caused them the match the last time. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. Now, our next one is the one to watch in 2024, Colin King. I can see that due to the fact we have seen Colin King before in AEW, NWA, and various promotions in the independent scenes. Not to mention, she is one of Bully Ray's students. I mean, she did had a fantastic match with Camille back in NWA, but her stepping into a how to say singles run, that is something are yet to see just yet. I mean, we know she has the necessary tools to make herself stand out, but we will see what 2024 has in store for her. I wouldn't be surprised if she does go for the Knockouts World title, but we'll see where that leads us. Now, we have Knockout of the Year, and the winner goes to Trinity. Yeah, I can see why Trinity, because look, we all seen her what a great person she is, even in the ring, with her personality in the ring. Many of us could say they screwed up that WWE screwed that up to begin with, but showing what she can do now is what's important. I mean, many people didn't expect that she probably would win the Knockouts World Title, but she has defended that belt proudly. Now, don't forget, next month in Hard to Kill, she'll be facing against Jordan Grace. So this is going to be a tough challenge for her. So we'll see what happens until then. So I think that's pretty much it with this part of the, of this episode. So let's move on with our last and final thing, and that is news updates. So welcome to our news updates. Now, first things first, we're going to be keeping updates on the promotions, on the events that they've been posting out, and who's booked and what matches have been set. And of course, any debuts, we'll find out about that. First things first, we have the GCW stuff. As you know, we have the Nick Gage Invitational 8 taking place on the 30th of December. They announced for their 10th participant, and that is none other than one half of the three-time tag team champions in GCW, Ciclopse. So now he joins his cousin Miedo Extremo. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, as you know, we have the coldest winter 2 taking place in February 3rd in 2024. They announced that Su Young will be there, so that's gonna be interesting. Chris Bay has been already been booked for 2 back-to-backs with GCW for the Coldest Winter 2 on the 3rd of February in 2024, and Feel No Ways on the 4th of February in 2024 as well. And Leo Rush has also been announced for 3 shows in the month of January with GCW. The Chicago show in on the 12th of January. Um, the Columbus, Ohio one on the 13th of January in 2024, and then finally Tampa on the 26th of January as well. So that's pretty much what the GCW. Now let's talk about the upcoming show with Wrestling Revolver on the 17th of February. What a show! Marina Shafir returns to Wrestling Revolver, and we have 2 debuts taking place. Monster Sauce, Lance Archer and Alex Zane. As you know, they had an incredible timing in World Tag League, and I'm so excited to see what they're gonna do. And of course, we have former WWE talent Mansoor making his debut as well. So as you know, Mansoor, I mentioned on the last episode that he is amongst those who, well, I'm sure you should know he is now amongst those who are now free agents. So I'm so interesting. And then of course we have grizzled young veterans making their return as well. Now, Promotion Violence and Suffering announced for their new show Arrival, taking place on the 23rd of February. Leo Rush makes his return as well. A very interesting match has been announced, and this one I think all of you are going to be very going, really? We have MLW's King of the Coliseum on the 6th of January. Matt Riddle making his debut takes on Jacob Fatu. I think this is going to be an interesting match. Now, before I proceed, I want to ask for all of you, what do you think of Matt Riddle going to MLW? So that is something you should ask me. I mean, I did not expect it this quick, but it just did. Now, finally, RevPro has announced for their high stakes show on the 18th of January in 2024. The RevPro undisputed British heavyweight title is defended. Michael Oku defends it against a man he has lost before, and that is Will Ospreay. Now, Will Ospreay recently won his recent show in recent match in RevPro against Gabe Kidd, but he called out Michael Oku asking for a title shot for the title. But he's saying that once he wins, he's taking that title with him. As you know, he made the surprising announcement that this will be his last RevPro appearance. So that's kind of interesting. So I'm sure Michael Oku is not going to let Will Ospreay win and take him take this belt. Now, moving on. As you know, we have been seeing signees coming in from TNA. They announced that Danny Luna, as you know her, part of the Subculture, she is now signed with TNA. But also they announced that the Rascals have re-signed with TNA as well. So I'm looking forward to see them what they're gonna do. Now, as you know, we have been announced that there have been many are now that we have free agencies. We already saw that when Mustafa Ali and Mansouri. So here are the ones who are finally are able to be free agents. We have Dolph Ziggler, Mace, Matt Riddle, Shelton Benjamin, Top Dollar, Rick Boggs, Dana Brooks, Aaliyah, Commander Aris, Riddick Moss, Emma, and Shanky. So these guys are now free agents, so that means they can go wherever they want to go. Now, finally, those who know this particular podcast called Yoshi Pod, this guy was able to bring Yasukawa. You may know her as one of the original leaders of Oedo Tai, but also more recognizable from that shoot incident in Stardom against Yoshiki. Now, last year she came to the States for the first time. It was her first experience. However, Yoshi Pod was asking for people in the SoCal area or LA area if they're interested. Now, if I have any subscribers that are from that vicinity, can you guys give him a helping hand? This is what he had to say. Let me pull it up real quick. Here it is. If you're interested in booking Act Yasukawa on shows in the U.S. in March and April of 2024, please email Act USA bookings at gmail.com. She is flying out of LAX. She'll be available for wrestling matches, autograph signings, and seminars. So anybody from who are interested in booking her in between those days, just letting you guys know. So if you got want her to be part of that, just let your local promotion know. Make their email is of course is actusabookings at gmail.com. So let me spell out act is ACTUSA bookings at gmail.com. So if you're interested, just um, email them for that, or tell your promoter, your local promotion that you guys want to have it there. So this is going to be in March and April. So just so you guys know, I think that's pretty much it right now with everything we have. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we do have AEW Rampage and NXT Level Up. But I also learned we are continuing with more of New Japan with Road to Tokyo Dome. Now I haven't decided yet if I want to put another review before those, but we will see how that will take us. So um, let's just let how things will roll. So I think that's pretty much it for what we have for now. So I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.